3 minutes to start session.
You may remember that earlier in the season we were following the fortunes of two touring car teams, the Ford Mondeo team and Graham Hathaway's Total Privateer Cup team featuring Robb Gravett. Well, we're up here at Snetterton following them again through the championship. We missed a few rounds recently, but we're updating ourselves and finding out what they've been doing in the last two rounds. Well, Will, obviously you had quite an interesting weekend last weekend. You actually could have finished up in the top 10, but obviously here we are at Snetterton now and looking forward to trying to get a higher finish here.
Yeah, I mean, Knock Hill was probably a weekend to forget, but it promised more and we didn't get the results for various reasons. But I always enjoy Snetterton. I've always had fairly good results here ever since I started racing. It's sort of my home circuit since I was sort of born and brought up near Cambridge, so it's the first race circuit I came to even watch motor racing, so I just hadn't always had an affinity with it, and it's just maybe suits my style of driving, I don't know, but yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for a good weekend.
Well, Paul, you're obviously having a bit of a testing season with the Mondeo. How do you feel so far about the season?
Well, you're right, testing is the word. It's been a difficult season so far, but every time the car goes out, we improve it each time. So there is light there at the end of the tunnel, and as I say, every time we go out, the car gets a little better and a little better.
It must be very frustrating for you as a driver, because obviously you're getting a lot of times back and you think, well, could have done better there, and then you sort of get a bit more time each time you do go testing. But on days like today, when you're out trying to get those elusive tenths, what keeps you going?
Well, it is frustrating, but it's it's the same for everybody. You can only push the car around as quick as the car will go, and everybody's doing the same thing. So it is frustrating, sure, if you're not right at the top of the timesheets. But you just got to concentrate and work hard with what you've got and try your best. And usually that's where the motivation comes from. And okay, if it's not first, well then you've got to you've got to realise that you're not going to be challenging perhaps for first that weekend, and you just got to do your very best and keep working on those little tiny tenths, and hopefully they'll come to you at the end of the weekend.
Well, Rob, obviously 2 rounds since we last spoke to you. What's been happening with you?
Well, we had a really good race or 2 races at Knock Hill in Scotland. That was very good for us. We won both the events and got pole position as well in both of them, so very pleased with that. We struggled a bit at Croft the couple of weeks before, or actually 3 or 4 weeks before. It's a very high speed circuit and the car didn't like the high speed corners, and strangely enough the Honda is normally very good, but we've done a lot of homework. We did a little bit of testing in between, and that's carried on through to Knock Hill, and of course now we're here at Snetterton and we seem to be going quite quickly here as well.
Yeah, because obviously they've changed the circuit since you were last here.
Yeah, very much changed. They've done a very good job on the circuit actually, I'd say. It's made the back straight a little bit shorter. I can remember in the RS 500 days, I think we were seeing about 170 down there, but we're a little bit slower in these cars, but of course the cornering speeds of the 2 litre cars are much higher than the RS 500 days.
And obviously your tyres are just as important as the guys running in the big time, aren't they, really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're trying to make an impression at the moment. I have to try and get as many points as I can in the independent series because that's the main reason that we're here. But if we can gain an advantage there, then I can obviously have my head a little bit more and try and give some of the factory cars a bit of a hard time. We did that a little bit at Knock Hill as well anyway.
Yeah, because you were up mixing it with Derek Warwick and John Clowney, I understand.
I found myself ahead of the Vauxhalls and the Fords at one stage, and I didn't actually really want to be there. So I actually let them pass because I didn't want to get embroiled in a situation. We were there to do a job, and I had to drive with the head more than the heart, effectively.
Because obviously it's very difficult for you, obviously, because you're not really racing against them, but obviously what's sort of the criteria in the race if they come up behind you and they're trying to get past you, actually move over in a gentlemanly fashion or stay in front?
Well, at this stage, we're a race within a race, I suppose. But ultimately, of course, we are in the same series. I mean, I got outright championship points at Knock Hill. That was good, and that's the second time I've done that this year. I suppose that hurts a little bit with some of the factory teams, but you know, we're here and I've been there and I'm running as hard as I can. But I have to drive with my head more than my heart. We can't really afford to crash the car. Purely because of financial reasons.
There's no doubt that experience counts for an awful lot in touring cars, and particularly trying to develop the car and find the right direction, because you baseline everything with your previous experience, and you always try and make the new car you're with, the team you're with, and obviously I'm with Ford and very happy being with Ford, but we're obviously trying to push that car, the Mondeo, into a championship winning car, and that's part of the challenge, and that's what I actually enjoy really. I mean, technically trying to get the car quick enough and contributing to the overall design package and the evolution of the car for next year.